We are live. There we go. There's the beautiful face. Hey guys, welcome to my channel BitGlenn. My name's Glenn and I like to share with you what I've learned. Sorry, I'm moving my mic. What I've learned in the world of cryptocurrency as I go through it. So I just thought I'd do this live video actually because I've already posted a video today and I've got one going out tomorrow. So I just wanted this more to be sort of an informal chat so guys can jump in and send me questions. So feel free to comment in the BitGlenn, the top chat or whatever they call it on YouTube. You can also, in the description down below, there is links to my Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I don't really use Instagram or Facebook, but essentially Twitter and Telegram at least. Or obviously you can just comment on this video down below. It's entirely up to you. But today's video that I wanted to talk about was more the positioning of Bitcoin at the moment. I was thinking back to the days of when Bitcoin used to talk about inflation a lot, more so hyperinflation. There was a lot of chats about how one day all the worlds will go into a hyperinflation and a lot of the currencies that are available at the moment will collapse and fail, and Bitcoin was going to come along and save the day and jump in its place. And I think that probably still will happen at some point, but I think it's a long way off. I remember when I started this channel 2.5 years ago, there was a lot of talk of, America being in, I don't know, at that time it was something like $17 trillion worth of debt. The UK was in like a massive deficit, and we had really big cutbacks. And because of this coronavirus, the world governments are just printing money left, right and centre, and a crazy amount. I remember saying to my friend early on, they're going to start quoting silly numbers, and he was like, what do you mean? I said, America will probably come out and quote some silly stupid number that they're going to print or whatever. And they came out and said that they were going to do the 1.8 trillion stimulus package. Then it went up to sort of 2 trillion. And I think it went up to 2.2 in the end or something like that. Which obviously I'm not an American, so it doesn't bother me too much. Obviously it affects the world government, world finance system somehow. But then one of the guys in America actually came out and said that they were going to, or they had available to them, an unlimited amount of money. They were willing to invest an unlimited supply of money into the economy to keep it going. So that just blew my mind. I thought, right, this is it. And also in the Bitcoin community, a lot of people talk about interest rates. People always say, interest rates are going to go to zero at some point, they're going to go negative. And I always thought, nah, they won't. They might go low, but they won't go negative. And we've seen with American bonds, apparently the yield has gone negative on those now. America, obviously due to this coronavirus, reduced their interest rates from 0.25 down to 0.1/0. And I think now they are actually just at 0. And then in the UK, our interest rates went down. I think they're 0.1 at the moment. So everything that everyone was talking about a couple of years ago was right. It's happening. And I remember people saying, and it'll be end of world type stuff. It'll be the collapse of society as we know it, and then Bitcoin will rise from the ashes. But so far, not much has really happened. Obviously, everyone's mortgage payments are not being made. Their oil went to zero before Bitcoin. So all those economists, economists who said that Bitcoin was worth zero, it was worthless, it was going to go to zero. Oil went to zero before Bitcoin. I bet they'd never ever thought that would happen. So there's some really interesting things going on. Now, this really leads into the narrative of all the Bitcoiners. They've been talking about this for so long. And when I saw the interest rates going down to zero, and I heard America saying we've got an unlimited supply of money, and even the UK saying we're going to print something like it was saying like 700 billion. Now I saw this chart. Can't talk tonight. I saw this chart on the news where it was showing you we've been trying to recuperate money back through cutting back. So a lot of our police, our NHS, our health service, public services, all got reduced. They've been held back. We've had 10,000 less policemen on the streets. We've had NHS in billions and billions of pounds worth of debt. They can't sustain themselves. And so we've gone through this. People use the word austerity, but I don't think it's been that bad. I've got on all right. But now that obviously this coronavirus has happened, they've gone from cutting back and trying to save 10 billion a year. So get that in your head. They try and doing all this austerity. They've tried to save 10 billion a year. Then as soon as the coronavirus hit, bam, 700 billion. Like, that just came out of nowhere. 700 billion. So that's like 70 years worth of austerity in one fell swoop. On top of that, low interest rates. It's mental. So I was thinking, when this was all happening, I was thinking people that are into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, they must be foaming at the mouth. This is it. This is it. It's going to happen. I've been saying this will happen for so many years. No one believed me. They must be absolutely loving it. Maybe not those that have lost their jobs and stuff like that, but you know what I mean. The narrative of the whole Bitcoin ecosystem. Then on top of that, so on top of all of this, I just did a search, US to print an unlimited amount of money. Could America see hyperinflation? So fears that America might go into hyperinflation. So you've got all of these risks going on. The euro is seeing massive debt. Britain is printing more money than we've tried to save over the last 70 years or whatever. On top of that, another thing that Bitcoin people like to really rally behind is the fact that obviously Bitcoin is always decreasing in supply. And every 4 years there is this event happening called the Bitcoin halvening. Let me bring you over to my screen. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who's joined in with the chat. We've got Megamind says best ROI DApp on Ethereum blockchain, get in while it's super early. Antonio says hi Glee, I am American. They're on about a digital currency since the outbreak. Yeah, I heard about that. I think Russia are sort of really pushing that the forefront, saying they were going to do a digital currency. Hi Glenn, I'm American, give it 12 months, my bills are paid for now. Good, Antonia, as long as your bills are paid, it's all good. So yeah, I'm just showing on my screen here that we have the US printing an unlimited amount of money. We have America talking about going into hyperinflation. We've got European countries saying that they're going to go into a mass depression. Obviously the UK have just printed more money than we earn like for the next God knows how many years. And on top of that, so that is one thing. That alone should make Bitcoin just explode. Like, people must look at it and say, right, oil's gone to zero. Stocks have all fallen 40, 50%. Some of them have dropped 80%. I mean, if you look at the travel industry, airlines, cruise ships, stocks have gone down up to 70 to 80%. Like, insane numbers. Bearing in mind, this is a market where they not guarantee, but quote, it's gone up on average 4 to 10% every year since its in creation. All of a sudden just dropped like 30-40%. Crude oil going to negative. They would pay you to go and pick it up. Like, so you've got all of these events now. While that's been happening, what's happened to Bitcoin? It's been steady, and in the last 2 weeks or so, it has just gone. If we have a look at the chart, not that this is any technical analysis or anything, but let's go back over the last 1 year. Let's get rid of market price. So you can see that probably when the coronavirus really started to sort of be known to us was probably around end of January, February time. Price of Bitcoin at 10k, and then it's dropped all along with stocks and shares all the way down to 5.2. Now stocks and shares, they've gone up a little bit, maybe sort of 5 to 10%, some of them if you're lucky, but nothing like this. We've gone from $5,000 to currently back up to $10,000, and that's where it was at before. So it's made a complete 100% full recovery from the coronavirus. Bitcoin has outlasted the coronavirus in terms of an economic standpoint, and on top of that we have the halvening. So obviously you guys all know what the halvening is. I'm sure anyone watching this will be like, oh yeah, we know Glenn, we know it's gonna go mad. So you've got this, like, just the image that I had in my head, and you probably get it from the thumbnail, is like this perfect storm, like this, everything that any cryptocurrency person, if you said to him, give me an argument why we need Bitcoin, or give me an argument why we need your cryptocurrency, and they will start reeling off, negative interest rates, inflation, hyperinflation, Bitcoin halvening, most reliable source of money, it's most transferable source of money, blah blah blah, it's most decentralized, don't need banks, don't need central authority, don't need government's permission, blah blah blah, just reeling off all this, like, and I believe in it. I'm not saying that I don't, but it's all happening like within the space of a couple of weeks of each other. Like, I thought that, you know, things like negative interest rates or zero interest rates and all this sort of stuff. When I remember doing videos when I started this YouTube channel, and we talked about it. We did late night live chats just like this, and you guys were in the comment section, and we all talked about it. And I said, yeah, but that won't happen 30, 40 years. And 2 years later, we're here. It's like it's happened. And people could say, yeah, but it's the coronavirus. It doesn't matter what the event was. If you look at it from an economic standpoint, they're printing in more money than the countries can produce per year for the whole year, the whole country. Which countries like Japan, they have a debt to GDP ratio of something like 4 or 5 times or something like that. I can't remember what the exact figure was. And whereas America and Britain and stuff like that, they've actually held up pretty well. They're sort of only, I think, 2 times their GDP over the whole year. So even with this on there, they're still not as bad as some countries out there before the coronavirus hit. So it's not all doom and gloom, but this just is a perfect recipe for Bitcoin. Like, it's everything that every Bitcoiner has dreamed of. So, does this mean that I'm saying go out and buy loads of Bitcoin? That's what I'm trying to do. But if you look at a lot of the social medias, they are all just it just reeling off this. Bitcoin's going to 100k, Bitcoin's going to 288. I've seen 250,000, 500,000, million. I mean, and I've been checking crypto Twitter, I'd like to call it, every day, every 3 or 4 times a day, because you read these stories. There you go, look, there's one right there. Didn't take me long. If Bitcoin goes to 288,000, blah blah blah, it doesn't matter what it is. Bitcoin 2020 halving miners will cease the biggest sellers of Bitcoin. Da, 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 da. These are all really pumping Bitcoin, like really. There's loads of technical analysis out there saying, I think it's going to go to here. And then if you go over to YouTube is like BTC pump euphoria, Bitcoin. Ivan on Tack, I don't watch too many of his videos, but if you look at a lot of his thumbnails, they are all, Bitcoin won't survive this massive, there you go, Bitcoin 500,000 in 2021, must see. Now obviously he's doing clickbaity thumbnails, and fair play to him, because it makes a lot of people click on him, so not knocking him at all. But my point is, obviously there's loads of this, there's loads and loads of just Bitcoin's 100k after halvening. Look, Bitcoin halvening, 1,000% gains. Now what this says to me is that there's massive expectations from this Bitcoin halvening, and not only is this halvening happening just normally, which if it was just normal Bitcoin halvening, nothing really else going on in the world, then you would say, oh okay, maybe the price might go up a bit, it might. But this whole perfect storm of all this good feeling, like this, like Bitcoin's the one, and everyone's getting proven right, says to me that the narrative is leading towards Bitcoin really shooting up, and that's what you guys all want to hear. But I think you have to be a bit careful. Don't get sucked into the hype. There's a lot of people that are pumping Bitcoin, but then there are a lot of people that will buy Bitcoin, reading and seeing all these videos and articles and thinking, oh my god, there's this thing happening called the Bitcoin halvening, I better get in. Apparently it's going to $250,000. If I put in 10 grand now, I can have $250,000 in 2 weeks time. And then what's going to happen is the Bitcoin halvening is going to happen. I think it's happening May the 11th, and I think people are going to wake up on May the 12th, May the 13th, May the 14th, and be like, I'm not a millionaire yet. What's up with that? Maybe this Bitcoin thing isn't what it's cracked up to be. And I assume there's going to be a sell-off. I've got no evidence to back that up. I've got no technical analysis. I'm just thinking of the narrative, like the story, if you like. I'm looking at it like, if I didn't know much about Bitcoin and I was told about the halvening and hyperinflation and zero interest rates and unlimited printing of money, and this is why Bitcoin's good, I'd be like, yeah, that's I'll put some money into it and I'll see what happens after this halvening thing they're talking about. And I can imagine there's going to be a bit of a sell-off. So just be careful. Try not to just go crazy. Now, I could be completely wrong. Bitcoin may go to £250,000 per Bitcoin. I can't see it happening myself, but it may happen. And a lot of people will say, oh my God, Glenn, we listened to your advice and we didn't buy as much as we first thought. And then, you've stopped me being a millionaire now. But I would just say, look at the overall picture. Who's going to win out of this? Who's going to lose? And typically it's the small guy. If everyone's telling you to buy Bitcoin, then probably you should sell. We're currently at 10k again. And I sort of said in the Telegram group chat, which you could be a part of, the link is in the box wherever it is on the live stream. And, one of the guys, PJ, I don't know if he's in this live video now, but he got a bit like, well, why do you think that? Why do you think that? And I sort of said, I can imagine it going down to at least 7k, maybe even 6, because if we're at sort of 9.5, 10k, and this is another thing that winds me up. I was on Twitter the other day, and Bitcoin went from 8.5 to 10k very quickly, and it was just, this is the last time we'll ever see 9k. It will never go below 10k again. Say goodbye to 10k. That was your chance to buy in. You didn't take it. Honestly, it was everywhere. It was everywhere. And I said, oh, I reckon give it a couple of weeks after the halvening, it'll probably be under 10k again. And God forbid, about 2 days later, we're below 10k again. So I only had to wait a couple of days to say I was right. But it doesn't mean I know everything. I'm not saying, I don't do any technical analysis. I'm just looking at it as if I was a massive wow, I've got all this feel-good news for Bitcoin, I'd be thinking, yes, buy my Bitcoin. I'll sell it soon as the halvening happens. I'll sell at the all-time high. You'll dump a couple of days later. Then I'll buy back in. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Treadrap says, hey, Glenn, sorry I'm late. That's okay, mate. Don't worry about it. But, yeah, what do you guys think? Where's Bitcoin going from here? Can you see it dumping after the halvening, or can you just see it going up, 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 up? Let's have a little look at the Bitcoin price. So we'll go Bitcoin price after previous halvenings. Bitcoin traded in a sideways manner for over 2 weeks following its second halvening and fell to $465 on August the 2nd, a loss of nearly 30%, which if we had a 30% dip now, that would take you down to about 6,500. From the halvening day price of 660, the fresh record high above 1,160 was set nearly 8 months after the supply cut. So we may have this Bitcoin halvening, and this is where I think Richard Hart has got it right in whether you believe in his project or not. I'm not getting into that, the hex thing, but he said the thing that's going to onboard loads of people is the price going up. If Bitcoin after this halvening does go up in price, everyone will start talking about getting back into Bitcoin again, like nan, granddad, aunts, uncles, cousins. And then when they start buying in, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. They will add to the fire and Bitcoin price will shoot up even further. And then obviously people like us will be like, oh, this is it, this is what I've been waiting for, and I should have bought more. How can I accumulate more? But there will be other dips. Like I say, as soon as the second people realise, oh, I've bought this for 30,000, I think it's going to 50,000, and it doesn't, people are like, oh, I might as well sell it. So yeah, just be a bit careful out there. I've seen a lot of people started talking crazy. I'm just putting in little and often. I think I've explained to you guys my investment strategy. I'm putting in £50 a week, which is about £200 a month, into Bitcoin, and I'm just storing it and I'm not touching it. I haven't transferred it anywhere. I haven't sent it anywhere. I'm just keeping it there. And I'm just going to continue to do that. So this Tuesday I'll buy 50 more. So if the price of Bitcoin is at 10k, so be it. If the price of Bitcoin is at 6,000, so be it. It's better for me. It means I get more Bitcoin for my money. Antonio says, I think something different will be happening because we have tried everything. Hopefully it will be new millionaires created. I hope so. That'd be awesome. I mean, if you look at previous, we have seen 1,000 plus gains. So we've got first halving block reward went from 50 to 25. So the price was about $16 here per Bitcoin. I wish I bought them. I wish. Treadwrap says, I agree. Pump up to the halving, then dip, then have a decent run up. Yeah, so you can see here that the halving actually was the start of a bull run for Bitcoin. You can see the graph here went up and up and up, and it got all the way up to at one point over $500 per Bitcoin, and then it actually went down again, and then obviously we had another halving, the second halving, and the price was about 600 as we just read in that article, and then it went all the way up to 16k, and now we're about to hit another one. So if that trend continued, you would say that currently Bitcoin's at 9,500, so then it should go up to about 95,000 a coin, which would be awesome if it does. Again, I'm just trying to be realistic here. It's the same with if you look at people on Twitter about XRP. They always bang on about how XRP one day is going to $5 a coin when it's been sitting at 17 cents for God knows how long, or whatever it is. 21 cents, sorry. It did get up to $1 at one point, I think, or 1.5. No, it went up to 3, didn't it? Something like that. And then rapidly crashed down. Bitcoin Cash, didn't that go to 4k at one point or something, or 2k when it joined Coinbase? Bitcoin SV is no point talking about. Litecoin went up. They all had these big run-ups at some point or another. And the one that I've really got my eye on, as you guys know, I've not been shy about it, is Hex. I think Hex is something to really watch out for. I don't just say this as it's got a good referral thing, so I'm just going to push it loads. If I had invested in something and into a cryptocurrency, and I didn't talk about it in my channel, and then I said it a year later, I went, oh yeah, by the way guys, I invested in this Hex platform, I made 10k from it, everyone will be like, why didn't you tell us? And I'll say, oh, sorry, I just kept it to myself. And I remember a lot of YouTubers doing stuff like this. I remember watching Superman and who's that? I can't think of his name. Anyway, there were several YouTubers that were basically saying, right, I found this really cool project. It's just at the start, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. You have to buy my course. You have to join my affiliate program. You have to pay to be on my Patreon group, or you have to pay to be in my Telegram group, and then I'll tell you what it is. So they're getting paid for people to hear what it was, but people did it. That's what people did. I'm criticising, but maybe I should just do it. But these people got paid to talk about it, and as well as that, they were getting paid the other end. They were getting paid by the project, by the ICO. The ICO was saying, look, here you go, here's 2 Bitcoin if you talk about our project. Here's, $3,000 if you talk about our project or mention it in one of your videos, if you put a little advert halfway through it. And so they're getting paid both ways. Then they were investing in, they were talking about it, which was pumping the price of the token. And then obviously, so they're getting paid 3 ways. They were getting paid 3 ways. Mental, absolutely mental. So I always thought, do you know what, I'm not going to be one of those. And one of the guys in the Telegram group chats made a joke today about me being a shitcoin shearer and all that. But I said, I've been doing these YouTube videos now for about 2.5 years. And in those 2.5 years, I mentioned one ICO, which was Envian. I don't think there was any referral program for it. I can't remember. I don't think there was, off the top of my head. So I weren't doing it for that. I genuinely thought it was going to be a mining project that I could get behind. And then the rest of it, I've just been doing mining videos. I've used Bitmain miners, cloud mining, Genesis mining, Hashflare, all cloud mining, just ways of accumulating more Bitcoin. I've never been shy about, the reasoning for why I'm talking about something, but I sort of said a couple of years ago that Bitcoin hasn't got it's got no one behind it. That's why we love it. But the negative side of that is really, until someone's incentivized to do it, nothing's going to happen with it. It's not going to be marketed. It's not going to be pushed. It's not going to have a referral program. It's not going to, you look at Coinbase offer like a $8 thing if you can refer people to them. But anyone who's interested in cryptocurrency already had a Coinbase thing. But unless they're incentivized to do it, nothing's going to be pushed with Bitcoin. It's the only thing that's really going to push Bitcoin adoption is the price going up. And when Richard Hart was talking about that, even a few years ago, before he even done the hex, he said, why is it that these the BitConnects and the Ponzi schemes and the one tokens and the ICOs, how can they get so many people behind it like so quick, but yet Bitcoin's taking forever to get adoption? Like, what more do people want? And obviously he came to the conclusion that most people in this space, and I may say this and some of you might be offended, or some of you might be like, yeah, actually that's why I'm here. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's just that you hope the price goes up, and that's it. That's why we're here. Every single person watching this video or liking any of my videos or anything like that are in looking up cryptocurrency related projects because they're thinking, I hope someone mentions a project that I can invest in and I'll make a quick buck. I'll buy some Bitcoin as well, and I hope that goes up in price as well. And that's it. So yeah, for him to do a project that looks scammy, from the outside in, fair play to him. He's onboarding loads and loads of users. He's getting loads of people talking about it. He's getting, obviously, but he's openly said, it's good that people's scam radars are working, because this was designed from the very day one to look like a scam. And I remember him talking about it before it was released. And, he's done what he said he was going to do. And Hex Token does what it says it was going to do. So I think that's really one to watch out for. Like, whether you believe me or not, you might think, Glenn, you're chatting absolute shit. I don't think Hex got anything behind it. It's got no legs. And you think it's going to go to zero. That's absolutely fine. I'm not going to be like I'm going to block you if you think that, any of that. I love hearing those opinions, because then I'll say, okay, why? Why do you think that? What have you got to back that up with? And we'll see. So if you're watching this and you think, you know what, I'm going to buy some Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin goes up, I might as well buy some Ethereum and some XRP, and just in case. And this other one, Bitcoin Cash, because that does the same as Bitcoin, but apparently it's faster and it's better, and it's got a lot of marketing behind it. I'd say, okay, have a look at Hex as well. I'd throw Hex in that ring, throw the name in there. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think I'm just being silly here? But let's recap. So what I've said today so far, I don't know how long we've been going for. I've said that be careful with the hype around the Bitcoin halvening. Don't think that you're going to become a millionaire overnight. I think if you buy Bitcoin and it goes all the way to, say past the halvening, and you haven't become a millionaire, obviously you're probably going to do the same as everyone else and dump. Don't be that guy on the other end that's holding the coins and then it goes to, I don't know, 6k. So especially some people, they take loans out, max their credit cards out and everything, because they believe into getting into the hype. You know, like, oh, I need to get in quick, because I'm running out of time. The halvening's happening. Oh, I've only got 2 days. I've only got 2 days to buy Bitcoin. Oh, I'm going to have to borrow some money off someone, you know. And it's really easy to get rolled up. I've been there many times, and I'm sure I'll be there again one day. And I'll maybe think back, actually, Glenn, listen to your own advice. Like this hex, every time obviously it sort of dips in price. The old me would think, oh shit, should I sell that now? Should I sell it? But now I think the opposite way around. If I go to the hex platform, every single day, the amount of Ethereum that is sent to the transform hex page has just shot up. 9,000, 11,000, 12, 15, 15, 14, 17, 19, 19, 18, 17, and we're currently on 15,000. So I looked at that and I thought, oh, 32,000 hex per Ethereum versus recently we've only been getting 26s, 28s, 27s. That might be a good time to buy in. So when everyone else is running away, I'm walking towards. What do you guys think? I'd love to know. Treadrap says, I'm focusing on Bitcoin and decentralized coins. Well, funny you say that, actually. And again, I'm not trying to absolutely ram Hex down your throat like some people would. But Hex has this really cool... there we go. Launch the app. It has this really cool exchange. So normally with exchanges, so if you go over to Binance or... I don't even know the names of the other ones, Hobit or what, I don't know. You have all these graphs and you have the buy in, the buy out, the book price, blah blah blah, different pairs. Hex has this this thing called Uniswap. It's free to use, and there's no KYC, so you don't need to give your name, address, date of birth, national insurance number. You don't have to declare how much you're sending to it. You don't have to take a picture of your passport with your face and send it. You don't need to put your phone number and email address. There's no way of these guys contacting me at all because I'm using them. They don't ask anything from me. And you can put in here any of these tokens. I think they're all ERC20 tokens. But let's say you put in here, you want to exchange your Ethereum to, I don't know, Funfair. Let's click that. And you could put in here 1 Ethereum, and all it does, it tells you out of that Ethereum, that is how much Funfair you would get. You would link your MetaMask wallet to it, which is a free software that you can download, and click the button and it will send it to your MetaMask. That is the most decentralized exchange I've seen. Now, the reason I've stayed clear of decentralized exchanges in the past is because they're really hard to use. Like, they're really fiddly. If you type in a 0 wrong somewhere, I remember reading stories like the very first decentralized exchange that went live, someone accidentally put a 0 too much or something, and they ended up exchanging like 10,000 Ethereum, I don't know, something silly, but for like 100, I don't know, XRP or whatever, let's just say, which obviously was worth nothing. I can't remember what the exact trade was, but he was messaging the people saying, is there any way of getting money back? And they're like, no, it's decentralized exchange, that's it, it's done. You know, there's no way of retracing that. And I thought, do you know what? I can barely struggle to use the centralized exchanges out there now, let alone these decentralized. So I've always stayed real clear of them. But I mean, how simple is this? 2 Ethereum gets me that much. Connect to wallet. And they seem to be adding wallets on all the time. They only had MetaMask. Then they had MetaMask, Coinbase, and another one. Now they've got 6. So that's good. More options. Really simple to use. That's the easiest. That's all. The heaviest coin that they exchange is Hex, because this was made by the same people that do Hex. I wish I had invested in Hex at the lowest point. You could say that about any coin. I would have had a few $1,000. Yes. Yeah. W8 for the new project. What's W8? Random gamer dude. I mean, yeah, we all want the price to go up. So what do you think about this lazy big bet? Bitcoin versus Dodge. What do I think? Let's have a little look. I haven't looked at the price of a lot of coins for a long time. Where is Dogecoin? Oh, wait. Oh, it's River J. Hello, mate. How you doing? I didn't even look at the name. I just looked. What's W8 mean? But it's good to see you, brother. I need you to come around and do some pipe work for me. David Howell says, hi, Glenn. Hello, mate. Thanks for commenting on the videos. I see your comments. Buy when blood in the streets. Uniswap is awesome. Oh, so you've already seen it. Brilliant. I really like that Uniswap. I bought in Hex the first 2 weeks, up 6,000%. The project works. Just wish I'd put in more. Yeah. That's what a lot of people say when they make money. I wish I'd bought more. What do I think about Dogecoin versus Bitcoin? Not much, really. Here's the thing with altcoins. And this is all altcoins. I'll include Hex in that. I'm not, I've always said I don't shill anything. If Bitcoin goes up, if Bitcoin goes to 20k, 30k, whatever it is, all of these altcoins are going to go up dramatically from where they are, because what will happen is Bitcoin will go up. People will think, oh, do you know what? I think that's the highest Bitcoin's going to go. But Ethereum's only gone up sort of 30-40%. So I'll transfer all my Bitcoin into that. So then they sell their Bitcoin for Ethereum. Ethereum price goes up a little bit, but many people think the same thing. Then all of a sudden, Ethereum price starts going up. And then everyone thinks, oh, Ethereum's the new coin going up. Oh, I better put my money into that instead. But overall, Bitcoin, over a long period of time, Bitcoin is the winner. And I still believe that. I still think that even if there was an altcoin out there that did it all, it did it all. It had all the answers. It had all the story, the narrative. It had the correct development, the speed, all of this tech and everything. It all just... People will always go to Bitcoin first because it has the first mover advantage. So it's the one that everyone knows. It's the one that people want to own. It's cool to own Bitcoin, I believe. When I talk to my kids, they're like, Dad, how much Bitcoin have you got now? Oh, yeah. Like, they don't ask what I can do with it. They think it's cool that I own some, and they think it's like going to be, to them, it's like, oh, I want to own Bitcoin one day. They don't know anything else about it. So that's very powerful. That is very powerful. It's like we all want a Ferrari. Why? Because they're the most prestigious sports car manufacturer in the world. Where am I going now? So yeah, anyway, that's what I was trying to say. All these altcoins are going to go up massively. I can't see any that stand out above the rest. The only reason that I'm looking at Hex is because I think Hex is going to work its way up here somewhere on the coin market cap. I think it's going to be here, whereas at the moment it is on this platform. It's currently position 203 because it can't be past the third page. So that's the highest it can get to until coin market cap can determine its total supply. So that's one that I'm watching out for. People keep messaging me saying, Glenn, what altcoins do you recommend, or what are you looking at? And I could be one of those YouTubers that just literally all this gumph, like, oh yeah, I'm looking at fucking EOS is going to be a big one, and just reeling off all these lists. But all I'm looking at the minute, the only thing I'm holding at the minute is Hex, Bitcoin. And at some point, I'm going to sell my Hex for Bitcoin. So that's the idea. What are you talking about? Bitcoin Cash Gold Classic is obviously the best coin. You're right, gamer dude. I so forgot about Bitcoin Cash Gold Classic. You forgot private, Bitcoin private. Uniswap was made by Ethereum, then donated to the crypto community. A community good. A good community, do you mean? Yeah, I really like Uniswap. I think it's a really cool idea. I think that's, in terms of cryptocurrencies, that's what we need, something like that. Now, if you can implement that into wallets, which obviously Exodus, you know, they have, that you can do the same, you can exchange. So it's sort of like a Uniswap there, but they're so expensive to do that. So expensive. I mean, the big bet, Joe 007 and someone. Now, this wow's just gone. He lists 21 mil. He lost 21. I don't know what you mean, sorry. I have no idea. I'm not even going to pretend like I know what you mean. Yeah, so with dips like this, I think this is a good time to get into Hex. Because if that continues, everyone's going to say, I bet everyone thinks, oh, I wish I bought then in that dip. Oh, I wish I bought then. I wish I'd bought then. And now you've got this. And I think that's going to be a massive I wish I'd bought then type moment. But that's my opinion. Who knows? I'm still holding on to the coins that I've got. I've done a video, I think it went live today, about my stakes today. 3 stakes. I've got all my stakes here, so they're all live at the moment. So as well as Hex going up in price, I'm earning Hex every single day. So you can see here that these are all, you know, I started them off with straight numbers. So I had 50,000, 20,000, 10,000, 50,000, 200,000. And this is what I've earned so far. So I've got 258 plus 61 plus 2 plus 4 plus 11. So that's how much Hex I've earned in the last 4 days. Sweet. It's awesome. Really is awesome. Let's have a look. This is my referral. So you guys, the guys watching this video, you've clicked on my link, which is this one here, my referral link. If you use that when you go to transform Ethereum into, still at 15,000 and we've only got an hour and a half left. When you do that, you get 10% extra, and I think I get 10%. So all in total, all my referrals together come to 84,000 Hex, which I think is about, I don't know actually. I don't know. 84,447 was it? Times 0.005, let's just say. $422. Sweet. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it, guys. I've just put all that straight back into stakes. I haven't withdrawn any of it. I did that withdrawal at the beginning where I broke even. So this is, to me, this is all free money. It's all free. Like, it doesn't cost me anything. So if I do make any money out of this, even if it was 500 quid, I'd be happy with that. If I come out of this with 5 grand, I'd be well happy with that. I don't know what this, how much is that altogether? 337. Plus I've got some in here, so I've got 15,493. So all in total then, I've got 330,337 currently, plus 15, what did I say, 473? Is that right? Something like that. And then we're going to times that by 0.005. 0.005. So that's £1,729 profit. Dollar profit from an £800 investment, which I've withdrawn. So if I'd kept that 800 in there, obviously I'd probably be worth about £3,000 now. But there you go. That's free money. Awesome. What have we got here? We've got a Bitcoin trader Joe 007 had a reputation for betting against the price of Bitcoin. Since losing 21 million, he has disappeared from the internet. Just type Just Nick in Google just before next halvening. What, so he disappeared? What, now he's back? But he lost, so why would we listen to him again? Joe 007. A popular Bitcoin trader lost 21 million. Now he's gone. Let's have a little look. The most profitable trader on Bitfinex disappeared after Bitcoin price hit 10k in a stunning 150% rally since the Black Thursday crash. The biggest whale on Bitfinex, known as the Bitcoin community as Joe 007, vanished as the price of the top-ranked cryptocurrency by market capitalization hit 10,000. Joe 007 left with a farewell letter on May the 7th on Twitter, which can no longer be seen after his deleted account, describing his time on Twitter as an experiment. He also removed himself from Bitfinex leaderboard, no longer showing his trades and profitability in his positions publicly. His departure came after a short contract he placed between when Bitcoin was hovering at 6,800, hit 20 million in unrealized loss, resulting in a 15 million loss on paper for the WoW. Joe 007 realized a 5 million gain in April, reducing the total figure by 25%. The WoW said in a letter, "So even though the journey was unexpectedly exciting, it has come to an end. From the very beginning, my CT involvement was a time-limited experiment. Since my detractors got something right, I really can't afford Twitter. There are many reasons why I can't stay, unfortunately. There is no one here. The account will self-destruct in a few hours. If you need to keep anything, screenshot." Why his disappearance matters. Right, here we go. Throughout the past 6 months, Joe 007 was arguably the most profitable Bitcoin trader in the cryptocurrency futures market. On average, the WoW recorded 10 million in gains every month, leading to a staggering 60 million profit within half a year. The Bitfinex leaderboard was created in 2019, allowing anyone to see the performance of traders on the exchange who list themselves on the leaderboard. Users can view weekly and monthly realized profits and unrealized losses on pending trades. From September 2019 to April 2020, Joe 007 realized £61 million in profit. Ooh! In the same period, all other WoWs on Bitfinex realized a 25 million loss. Joe 007 outperformed all traders listed on the leaderboards combined by 86 million. The disappearance of Joe 007 is significant because it occurred as soon as the 6-month winning streak was broken. The WoW aggressively shorted 6,800, betting the price of Bitcoin would go down due to low liquidity. The philosophy of Joe 007's trading style ultimately came down to 3 key data points: liquidity, buy and demand, and fundamental factors. Throughout the past 6 months, the WoW often said that if Bitcoin price spikes to a local high, such as 10,000, as a result of WoW's pumping the price, the lack of actual demand to buy at the top of the cycle often leads Bitcoin to crash. It shows ongoing, which is what I was talking about. So he's saying that that's already happened. He thought it was going to crash, but actually it still continued to go up. This time, ahead of Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin demonstrated a different trend. The spot market accounted for a much larger proportion of the daily Bitcoin volume. The futures market primarily I can read these words, I just don't come out my mouth. Dominated by BitMEX, played a small role in the leading the rally from 3.6 to 10k. Meanwhile, Coinbase and Binance saw record high volumes, with Binance seeing a 23 million daily volume for its BTC USDT trading pair. At the same time, BitMEX open interest and volume struggled to recover from previous levels. When Bitcoin price spikes substantially, I can't read that word, within a short time period, it leaves Bitcoin vulnerable to crash. The reason the risk... Now, this is what I've been talking about in today's video, actually. I think that crash, he may be right, that crash may be due to come. But I think it's going to happen just after the halving. I have this gut feeling that Bitcoin is going to drop, say, May the 12th, May the 13th. Probably May the 13th. 13th's an unlucky number. I think we're going to have a sell-off then. How do I take Hex out to change into Ethereum? So if you want to do that, River, you want to go to, we was just on it actually, go to Uniswap, and you can exchange it for, look for Hex. These are in alphabetical order, so it should be here somewhere. I think there's two versions of Uniswap Exchange. Let's go to, if we go to Google and I just search the Hex website, one of these says, there we go. So we want Hex and you want to change it to Ethereum, and then you put in how much Hex you want to sell. So if you want to sell 100,000, it tells you how much Ethereum you will get, and then you click the swap button, and then it will load up your MetaMask, and it will say, do you want to do it as a fast, slow, or medium transaction? You pick what one you want, and that's it. It's pretty quick. Hex has 14 million liquidity on Uniswap. Oh, Tread already. He already answered the question. Okay, thanks. What do you think? Sell before the 365 day or stake after for the big payday? I'm going to take some profits before the big payday and have some stakes out. 2 to 10 years will keep them. Bloody hell. You? I've got all mine to finish on the 16th of November, 3 days before. I actually thought about doing that, River, as my strategy. And my last question, what do you think about PI? I don't know what that is. Sorry. You have to explain a bit more. Okay, that was easy. Cheers, mate. River J, you're betting on a dump on a big payday. Yeah, I think so. So, what are those two guys talking about? On day 351, I believe, there is the big payday. So the people that have been staking over the last year to 6 months, they are going to receive this big payday. This big payday could go up or down depending on how many people stake and cancel their stakes and all sorts of factors. And as it stands at the minute, I staked 200,000 Hex, and it says that I'm going to receive 414 after the big payday. So that's double. That's like 2 times what I put in. So you're going to have everyone that's involved in the Hex platform on that day receiving potentially double, triple, whatever that they put in. So there's going to be a lot of coins available that day. Now, what you could do is you could then use those coins and stake them longer after that date. Or you can try and sell them. So there's going to be a massive sell-off. I would imagine that there is going to be a big sell-off on that day. But this was the maths that I was trying to figure out earlier. I honestly believe that Hex can get to 1 cent. 1 cent a coin. We was at 0.6 something, I think, yesterday or something like that. So let's just say 1 cent. People in the Hex community are talking about it going to $2-3. Same as the XRP people. And I said, that's unachievable. It would give it a market cap past Bitcoin and everything. And they honestly believe that that's going to happen. I'm not one of those guys. So, I believe it can get to 1 cent. So let's just say that you get, you've put in a stake of 200,000, and past the big payday, you're going to double your money, which I assume I'm going to more than double because I've got to include interest and other bonuses on top of that. But let's just say you double your money, you get 400,000. We're going to times that by 0.01. That means that them coins would be worth $4,000. If you was to sell the day before, if the price was at, I don't know, let's say 1 cent as well, obviously your stake's going to take you to, you're going to have $2,000. So potentially you can earn double money. But if the price goes down, when you say a dip or a crash, let's say that it goes, let's say it loses 50% of its value because everyone's trying to sell as quick as they can. So are you better to sell the day before with 200,000 tokens, or are you better to wait till the day after and get 400,000 but with the 50% dip? So let's find out. We know that if we sell them the day before and the coins were at 1 cent, say, you're going to get £2,000. But if you'd stake till after that day and you take that hit, and obviously we don't know if that's going to happen, so let's say 400,000 times, we're not getting 1 cent now, we're only getting half a cent because we believe that there's going to be a 50% crash. So 0.005, you will end up with £2,000. For $2,000, sorry, $2,000. So you have to ask yourself, how much of a crash do you think there's going to be on that day? And how many more coins are you getting? If you're getting 2.5-3 times the amount, you need Hex to tank on that day of 70%. I can't see that happening personally because a lot of these people are going to continue to stake and earn even more rewards going forward. So there will be a sell-off, don't get me wrong. I think we all know that. But I would rather see double the amount of coins and take my chances then, as opposed to never knowing. But that's obviously, don't take anything I'm saying as financial advice. Everything I'm saying in this video is just my views, my opinions, and what I think personally is going to happen. I've got no technical analysis to back any of this up and no skills in any financial advice. So just putting that out there. Don't blame me. Don't come after BitGlen. I don't know anything about PI network. I don't know anything about the PI network, sorry. I don't know anything about it, but I've heard it. Dogecoin going to $100. Crazy rare signal. Those are the best videos on YouTube, obviously. I know, I've seen loads of those, especially XRP. 10 reasons why XRP is going to $20 a coin. Hexcoin. When was the ICO? The good thing is, Antonio, and a lot of people don't think about this, the Hex token wasn't an ICO. The day that it was created, so if I go to Transform, the very first day, which was this day here, December the 3rd, it did what it said it was going to do that day. Richard Hart did not run off with 21,000 Ethereum like everyone said he would. On top of that, everyone keeps saying that he's going to run off and sell all the tokens. Since that day, he has received 6,000, 2,000, 2,000, 1.5, yada yada yada. It equates to about $250 million he has received in Ethereum. Now, it's my guess that he's using that Ethereum to pump the price, and he can't openly say that because he'd probably be breaking some law. And I also think that he's going to be using that Ethereum to develop something new for Hex going forward, and I don't think he can say that either, because then he's making promises to investors, just like EOS did, just like all the other ICOs. So it's not an ICO. You can just invest in it today and you could sell the coins tomorrow. It's entirely up to you. I think it was December. Hex is not an ICO. It's fully decentralized, finished project. Tread, you keep answering the questions before I get a chance to answer them, which is good. I like to hear your thoughts. Hex was never an ICO. Oh yeah, that's right. But it came out in December. Yes, December. What did I miss? Richard has tits. Richard was doing weightlifting at one point, but yeah, he did put on a lot of weight, I think, recently. What kind of team is behind Hexcoin? Is it an all-star team? Richard Hart. Search on YouTube Richard Hart, and you'll see loads and loads and loads of content, live streams that he does. I've been watching his videos for about 2.5 years now. Hex is the next Ethereum, says King of Crypto. Tread, no team behind Hex, fully decentralized. I don't know about that. Is it? I think there is a team behind it, but they are producing some really cool features actually. So Hex.live. This video was meant to be all about Bitcoin, but you guys are asking me about Hex a lot. So this website here, actually, it's now saying that it's number 19 in crypto market cap based on its market cap total volume. Whereas obviously coin market cap lists it as 203. So if you imagine if all of a sudden coin market cap take the total supply seriously, they're all of a sudden going to have to put this in 19th place at least, and then people are going to be like, hey, hang on a minute, where's this it's just become a $1 billion total market cap. That's going to draw more people into it. All of a sudden people are going to say, hang on a minute, where's this Hex come from? And like Antonio said, when did the ICO start? Oh, it's still 6 months into it. Oh, I better get into it really quick. So we may see a big bump due to that. It says here that there was $346 million locked for an average of 4.52 years. So people are staking on average for 4.5 years. Bitcoin, when halving happens, does the price go into half? We talked about that earlier, actually. I don't think it half. I think it probably will have a 30% drop. So quote me on that. Make a screenshot. Someone make a meme of it. I think Bitcoin's probably going to have a 30% drop at some point after the halving. We may pump up from where we are now. We may go to 11, 12k in the next couple of days. I think that's unlikely. But I think we're going to have a drop of about 30%, which would take us down to about $6,500, $7,000. But then give it a few weeks after that and all the hype goes away and all of that, I think we're going to take the stairs up, as I like said in my video the other day. I'm buying a half of the half. Well, actually, if you take part in crypto.com syndicate, then you could something to point out, and I've never mentioned it in my videos, crypto.com used to be MCO, which stood for something else, and they actually bought the rights to the website crypto.com, which cost them millions. So they're really putting their money where their mouth is. If you go to their exchange, you can get 50% off Bitcoin. What? And that is happening. So ideally, the best thing that can happen is Bitcoin really tanks in the next 2 days. Then you get the 50% off with that. That'd be sweet. What kind of projects are the founders of Hex known for? So Richard Hart was a Bitcoin maximalist for a very long time. He thought that pretty much anything other than Bitcoin was a scam. And now he's created a ERC20 token. But I would say check him out. I'm not going to push it on you, Antonio. Do your own research. Look into it. I'm not recommending it. I'm not suggesting you go out and buy it. But it has dipped in price today. So that's all I'm saying. Get in. Get in. Bitcoin when halving happens. Does I read that one. So, yeah, have you guys got any other questions for me? We've covered a lot of topics there. The main thing I wanted to talk about was being careful about getting sucked into the Bitcoin hype for this halving. Hex is a immutable ERC20 coin built on Ethereum. A lot of people got stung up on my comments on my video actually about I can't see Hex being valued more than Ethereum because you need Ethereum for it to run and you need Ethereum to send and receive the coins. And everyone got really stuck up on that, and they, well, does that mean that your internet provider... No, what was it? Does that mean Amazon can't be worth more than your internet provider? But that is something different. You can have different internet providers, and one of them could go down, and Amazon would still work. But for Ethereum to go down, like completely down, that is your blockchain. I don't know what they've done to cover themselves that way. Why would you transform when you can just exchange it for more Hex to Ethereum? Let's have a little look at that, River J. That's a really good point, actually. So if we go to Uniswap and we do it the other way, let's have a look. So we're going to do it the opposite way. Let's have a look. If I was to exchange 1 Ethereum, I would get 34,000 Hex as opposed to, come on Glenn, 32,277. So that is a good point. It is actually better to use the Uniswap app as it stands at the moment. The only thing I suppose you could say is obviously if you do use a link like my one, ding, insert referral link, you get 10% on top of what you should receive there. So that would be an extra 3,200, so that would bring it to 35,500. So then you'd actually be better off using my link and going to the Hex platform and doing the transform. But I assume there's going to be more Hex Ethereum going into that, so that that's a good point. It's neither here or there, is it? It's quite close. But yeah, for simplicity, if you don't want to wait until the end of the day, you just want it now, that is a good option, just to buy it straight on the exchange. Hex price has just jumped, has it? Let's have a look. So this is a good website, actually. There's a lot of statistics. Oh yeah, it just went from 0. God, that jumped up massive. That just went up to 20%. Shit. It was 42,000 Hex for 1 Ethereum when I first started watching you. Well, there you go. I did warn you. I said that was a good price for the token. This website, you can see when it refreshes every like 30 seconds or so. Guys, Richard's pumping that bad boy. See, like these are the referral links here. 10% free Hex. That's for the person who created this website. Or you can use my one. Obviously, I create videos. If you invested in at the bottom, you've now got 107x. So that's not percent, that's X, your money. Versus Bitcoin 83 and versus Ethereum 69. Popularity, it's got how many Twitter followers, Telegram followers, and Reddit. The markets. Let's have a look. You can join these leagues. I don't know how you tell what league you're in, but does it say me there? Learn more about leagues. Hex leagues are rankings on all accounts based on their relative percentage of Hex shares. The more and longer an account stakes for, the more shares they are likely to get compared to other accounts. The relative percentage of shares changes dramatically based on staking positions of all accounts. Stake wisely. So how do I find out my total shares? That's some sort of number I can't compute. Is that 34 billion? 1 million. No, that's 34 trillion, isn't it? I bought the dip 0.5 Ethereum. Well done, Tread. Frederick says, yo, thanks for joining, Fred. That bloody time. I've only been chatting for like an hour and 20 minutes. Jesus. Hex Live is an awesome website. The Random Gamer Dude says, yo. Yeah, so that is a massive pump in price. It is crazy. It's a crazy world. How much do you get now? 35,723. And then what's the stakes doing? 15,829. You're getting 32,000 Hex. Use my link, you'll get 35. So that's about the same. Damn. I wish I got that dip. Is it Bitcoin crashing? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I've got two different internet browsers open here with loads of tabs. Let's have a look. Oh, I should really put it out there. Don't forget, guys, to hit the little like button. I know you may think, oh God, YouTube is talking about the like button, but yeah, Bitcoin's just dumped a little bit. I'm waiting for Ethereum to go up back under $200. And then I was going to buy some more, and then wait for a dip day or something in a Hex, and then buy some more. To get these sort of levels of Hex, we've only got what's that, 197 days or something? 351 days minus day 159, and that's about to end, so we're basically at 160. 192 days, which if you divide that by 31 days, you got 6.1 months. 6 months to accumulate as much Hex as you can, and then obviously we can see what happens with the price and what position they end up in. But yeah, I'm really excited about Hex, like I really am. And you know I get a lot of stick, a lot of people comment saying, oh, Hex is a scam and you're just promoting it and you're just shilling it and all that. I genuinely am excited. I was interested in what was happening with Hex. If you actually look back on my videos, I actually bought into Hex about a week before I even mentioned it in a video, because I just wanted to use it, try it, see what the staking was like. I wanted to do all of those things before I'd even mentioned it. I just didn't want to come on and go, oh yeah, this Hex is, and then it just dumps, and I'd be like, oh fuck, now I look like an idiot again. Envying really scarred me, like really got me here. So yeah, and it just, the thing that I like about it is that it just does everything that it says it's gonna do. Some comment that someone made actually, they said, Glenn, you've forgotten to mention that you can claim the free Hex using the Bitcoin address, whatever you call it, even if you don't have Bitcoin anymore. So people may think, oh, I sold my Bitcoin like in January, but it doesn't matter. As long as you had it on December the 3rd, you could have sold, bought more, used a different wallet, just whatever wallet you held Bitcoin on December the 3rd, you can paste that address in here and it will tell you whether you've got free Hex. And you don't have to have one whole Bitcoin. It could have been 0.001 of a Bitcoin. Then it will convert that into... So you get 10,000 Hex per Bitcoin for one whole Bitcoin. But it will break that down for you into equal shares of whatever amount of Bitcoin you had. A random gamer dude said, I know I had at least 0.002. So if you get your address, a random gamer dude, and paste it in here, I think it has to be in a wallet where you have access to the private keys or something like that, or I don't know, has to be certain types of wallet. Paste the address that you would receive Bitcoin into here, and it will come up saying you get this many Hex. And if you want, you can just withdraw those Hex and sell them. Like, and you obviously know the price that it is at today. It's entirely up to you, but you actually make more money by staking them, or you make more Hex, sorry. You make more Hex by staking them, and obviously we hope that it's worth more money in the future, so it's worth giving it a try. I think as well with the Bitcoin claim, if you use my link down below, and I know I keep mentioning it, I'm really sorry, I don't mean to sound like that YouTuber guy, but if you use my link down below, when you put in your Bitcoin address here, it tells you how much Hex you should get. I think you get 10% on top of that for being referred. Maybe because I used X. I just put the public address in and it just said I can't get any coins. Yeah, I think it's only on certain wallet types. I don't know. Maybe a Tread Rap, he seems to know everything about Hex. Tread, why can't we claim certain addresses? I'd love to know. It's great to see your crypto journey. Thanks, mate. I've documented the whole thing. My ups and downs and lows and everything in between. There's a few of the guys actually in the Telegram group chat and some of you in this comment section that have been with me through the whole of it. So you guys know it because you've lived it with me. But I've always kept all my videos on there, even when YouTube were taking some down due to, strikes and stuff like that. I thought, no, do you know what? I want to keep that video there. Because even though I get no views on it or no likes or anything like that, because it was like 2 years old or whatever, it's part of my journey. It's like saying, oh, delete your photos from when you went on holiday. You don't want to do it because that's your only memory of. And one day I will look back and say, God, look, this is my video quality. This is how I used to sound. This is what I used to invest in. Oh, I can't believe I said, I thought Bitcoin was going to go to $5,000 one day and all that, It's like a diary for me. If only I'd used the lecture. There we go. Enter your Bitcoin address to claim its UTXO. Don't know what that means. UTO stands for unspent output from Bitcoin transactions. Each Bitcoin transaction begins with coins used to balance the ledger. UTXOs are processed continuously and are responsible for beginning and ending each transaction. Confirmation of a transaction results in the removal of spent coins on the UTXO database. I still don't know what it means. Shows you how much I know. Well, we're coming up for midnight now. Where's this? How long we got left on today's transform? I think it was an hour or so. I think it ends at 1 in the morning. Yeah. Yeah, dead on 1 in the morning. I can't stay up that late anymore. I'm getting old. Way past my bedtime. BBL, he said, sup. It's good to have you, mate. I've only been live streaming for an hour and a half and you've finally joined in. Go to Hex website. Lots of tutorials on claiming Bitcoin for Hex. Really? I know if you go down here, it says never before seen features. How you can claim your... No, how can Hex make you rich? We don't want that. The Wolf, how to claim. Let's have a look. This might make your sound go funny.
You'll be able to enter the adoption amplifier one day earlier, December 1st at 7 p.m. BST, and the snapshot of the Bitcoin blockchain, which we use to tell who can free claim or not, is at December 1st, 7 p.m. BST, the first block that shows up after that time. Let's open up our browser, which is this little fox, and put your password wallet to make signatures from. We'll have through electron, trust has already been uploaded. You click tools, you click sign verify message, you paste the address, and let's also paste the address in the claim tool here. Boy, this address is broke. This is not a very rich address. Let's try it differently. Maybe this address is going to be nicer than what's in it. Alright, that looks nicer. So let's click next. We'll click claim address. It gives us a statement we're supposed to sign. Let's go back to our Bitcoin wallet. Put the address in here.
Yeah. Unless you can do that with a Coinbase wallet, then I can't do it. I saw this and he flexed his 49 Bitcoin ass. Sup, go to Hex website. Lots to. So are you going to keep adding Hex, or is that all for you? Yeah, I think what I'll do is I will definitely be buying more Hex, because what I plan to do is I plan to still invest into Bitcoin every week. As I've said to you guys, that is my strategy, and I do it with the stocks and shares market. Actually, trading 212, just £50 every week. So I'm actually investing £100 a week into Bitcoin and stocks and shares. With all of this COVID-19, I don't want to get too much into my personal circumstances, but with obviously all the mortgage holiday payments and the loans, and I don't owe anything on credit cards anymore, I have a bit more disposable income. So this is a good couple of weeks for me. My plan actually is to, when I hopefully go up, as you know, River J, I've bought a house. I've got to go up and renovate it all. I'm hoping that when it's renovated, it will be valued a lot higher than what I paid for it. Pretty much double. And with that money, I was thinking about just putting it into Bitcoin alone, but I will definitely be buying some more Hex going forward. I want to take advantage while you get a lot per Ethereum. I'll just be gutted if I was the one making these videos and talking about it and you know, promoting it, if you like, and I didn't buy more myself. I'd be like, oh, what, you know, I was telling everyone to buy it and I didn't buy it myself. So yeah, I will definitely be buying in. No sound, he said. Oh, okay, it's probably for the best. I bought some McDonald's stocks on Friday. Yeah, so did I. Well, not on Friday, but yeah, I have bought McDonald's stocks. I haven't even... Do you know what? Crypto has taken up so much of my life the last week or two. Obviously, I've been banging out the videos. Smash that like button if you like the new content that I've been doing recently. But yeah, I don't know if you guys can see there my trading 212. I've got just under £1,000 worth now. Let's have a look at my McDonald's shares. They've gone up. Hey. River says, I hear you. Well, I'm going to call it quits anyway because I am really tired and it's now midnight. It's just gone midnight. So that's it from me, guys. Thank you very much for joining in with the live video. Don't forget to smash that like button before you go, and also click subscribe if you're new to my channel. If you do decide to either claim some free Bitcoin through Hex or you're going to send some Ethereum to transfer it, use my link. You will get 10% extra on top of what you're supposed to get per Ethereum. So that makes it better value than actually buying Hex off an exchange, depending on how the price goes. So that's it from me, guys. Catch you all later. Thanks for joining. Bye.